right. Hey, it is Wednesday, February 4th. Welcome to another episode where I'm going to give you some daily dose of encouragement, things that I'm working on for myself while I'm on this journey of self improvement, self development, as I keep on trying to evolve my mind, and my mindset, have that growth mindset. I think that's super important in life. There's so much distraction. I think there's so much distraction, so much toxicity when it comes to media, news, the food we consume, the air we breathe, the water we drink. It's just, if anything, if you're having trouble or whatever is going on in your life, develop that awareness for everything that you consume in your body. It always it always makes me laugh when I see people, running or like riding their bike on like busy roads. I'm just like, you're defeating the whole purpose of working out, because this is a busy road where a lot of traffic comes through. And so you're just breathing in exhaust, like you're just defeating the whole purpose, right? So yeah, it's just like developing that awareness. I don't know why people do that. I honestly don't. If you're going to go work out at a gym or whatever. But I think obviously a really good place to work out, a good place to get some training done is outside among the trees, among the clean and filtered air around you. And not only that, I mean, there's a lot of, spiritual kind of connections there too, to, connecting with nature and all that. And there's that belief too when you're out and about, you're putting yourself in situations where the universe can kind of help guide you a little bit better. I mean, I don't that could get a little woo as well, but if you believe in that, I think there might be some truth there as well. Whether it's like you're amongst the crowd and kind of things that you see, the patterns you see, or just kind of being around the trees and the animals that come across. It's you can't help but sometimes think that there is a big, larger connection, keeping all this together, you know. And oh my goodness, I want to get over. Sorry, I didn't want to take this one route. I had to be careful. Yeah, so I think there is those bigger connections there. When you can get in the crowd or get outside. I mean, I think we should all be able to be alone, right? I think we should all be able to be alone with our own thoughts. And I think that's part of developing awareness too, when you can slow down a little bit, when you can actually kind of stay with your thoughts and just not be so scared of them and just confront them, and command a better self of, a better version of yourself. It's okay to replay the past, but just know that's not who you are. I mean, that's not who you are anymore, right? Like there was lessons to be learned and you're evolving. You're getting better. So give yourself some grace there as you try to heal. This is our first life, as far as we know, right? We're all still trying to figure it out. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I try to tell myself because, I have a lot of regret and shame. Now, granted, there's not like anything I look back in my past where I'm just horrified. I think it's so funny because a lot of the regret and shame I have is just things that I've noticed. I don't think it's anything anyone else has really noticed, or if they did, it's probably long forgotten at this point. And there's some things too that I've made poor decisions on, or could have handled better for sure. That maybe people still remember or whatever, but I don't think it's anything significant. I don't think anything that I have done has cut too deep, and I'm proud of that. But I know I don't want to live in that state. I don't want to live in that being. I want to live in my best version of myself, and I want to improve. I want to be better. I want to be able to sleep at night knowing that, hey, I got better today, and I'm creating. I'm getting more disciplined. The clarity as far as what I'm seeking is getting clearer and clearer, and it is largely for me. And it's a long journey. I wish there was just kind of like an aha moment, like that epiphany moment where it's just exactly what you're supposed to do. And I envy people a little bit that have that. They say we shouldn't, comparison is the thief of joy. So we shouldn't compare ourselves to others and how they figured it out. We're all on our own journey. We're all in our own timeline. We're all in different seasons of our life. and we all have different impacts to make on the world and the people around us. So I think it's really important not to get caught up in that, but that is something I think, you know, we should be seeking, is that clarity. And sometimes that clarity can be wrong too. You have to kind of be open to that, but you want to go after it in a way where you know that that's what you're kind of going after, right? And then if the universe kind of stops you in your tracks, or some betrayal or whatever happens, then you can kind of take that time to adjust and figure out, like, why was I led down this path? Why was I led astray? What happened? Am I being protected? Am I being guided somewhere else? What lessons do I have to learn? So yeah, that's just kind of the things I'm learning so far in my own journey, and that's why we have to be kind to ourselves, most importantly, because you have to have love and respect with who you are. You have to have love and respect for who you are. I can't emphasize that enough. And when you do have deep respect and deep love for who you are, you'll set the proper boundaries for other people, for other organizations, or whoever that are out there, just other, you know, inputs that are around you that don't align with your values. Whether it's food you consume or the people that you have around you. um, you're not gonna settle for it. At the end of the day, when you have deep love and respect for your body, for your mind, you know what I mean. Like, you start to. It's like when I get donuts at work. I don't know. I have a hard time accepting food at work. It is what it is. Maybe it's my own thing, but I'm trying to, not to say I don't have my own cheat days and I don't have a donut or a cupcake or whatever here and there, but I want to do it on my own terms, not when management or whoever kind of decides to bring it upon themselves to bring it in. Um, and I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking out loud here, but yeah, I want to be able to have that autonomy as far as what's accepted in my life, and have those set boundaries, and not be persuaded, not kind of be pressured, by any person or persons, or organization or whatever, the world even. I want to figure it out on my own a little bit, and I know that's kind of something for me too. I need one thing I really need to do is and improve on is asking for help. Because I think I do sometimes take things too much on my own, and don't ask for help enough. But that's my own. I have that awareness, at least. But I just know that I can improve. I know I can be so much better than I am. I know I can use my time so much more efficiently, and I know that there's another level of being that I haven't reached yet, and I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. I have faith that I will, and that's what this whole journey is about for me, and creating every day and putting myself out there, and creating these videos is not only for anyone that might be able to heal themselves or get on that journey themselves to heal and improve, but also just for put in those repetitions for myself to improve, and hopefully with that, things will start to happen for me. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. As always, I want to wish you many blessings, and thank you for listening to me. Hopefully, with enough of us, we can actually have an impact on this world. As we elevate our consciousness and our spirituality, the world around us can hopefully heal and improve, and those that hurt others can be brought to justice. So yeah, I'll leave it there.